Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm sharing something deeply personal, a story about trust, betrayal, and ultimately finding the strength to stand up for my own truth. It's a bit of a long one, so grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. It all started with what I thought was the perfect relationship. Let's call him Alex. When I met Alex, it felt like a movie. He was charming, attentive, and made me feel like the only person in the world. He talked about his big dreams, his successful career in tech, and his loving, supportive family. He painted a picture of a life that was stable, ambitious, and just. Perfect, too perfect, as it turned out. For the first year, everything was bliss. We traveled, we laughed, we built what I thought was a solid foundation. I introduced him to all my friends and family, who absolutely adored him. He told me stories about his childhood, his university days, and the challenges he'd overcome to get where he was. I had no reason to doubt a single word. He was my rock, my partner, my best friend. The first crack in the facade appeared subtly. It was a small, insignificant detail. He mentioned a business trip to Tokyo, a city he claimed to know like the back of his hand from his exchange student days. Later that week, a friend of mine who had actually studied in Tokyo asked him about a famous landmark near the university he supposedly attended. Alex fumbled, looked confused, and then quickly changed the subject. I brushed it off. Maybe he was just tired or misremembered. We all have off days, right? But then, more inconsistencies started popping up. He'd talk about his wealthy parents and their beautiful home in the countryside. But whenever I suggested visiting them, there was always an excuse. They were traveling, they were renovating, they were private people. It was always something. He claimed to have a high-powered job at a prestigious tech firm, but he was strangely vague about his actual role. He never talked about colleagues by name, and his work-from-home setup seemed, well, non-existent. My gut feeling, that little voice we all have, started screaming at me. I began to feel a knot of anxiety in my stomach whenever he told me a new story. I felt like I was going crazy, questioning my own perception. Was I being paranoid? Was I looking for problems where there were none? I tried talking to him about it gently, asking for clarity on a few things. Each time he would turn it back on me, accusing me of not trusting him, of being insecure. He was a master at making me feel guilty for my own legitimate concerns. This emotional manipulation, this gaslighting was perhaps the most damaging part of it all. The turning point came on our second anniversary. He had promised a lavish celebration, a surprise trip. He talked about it for weeks. The day before we were supposed to leave, he came to me with a somber face and told me a sob story about a sudden family emergency. His father had apparently had a health scare. Of course, I was concerned and supportive. I told him not to worry about the trip and to just be with his family. He said he needed to go alone to handle things. That weekend, while I was at home, worried sick, a mutual acquaintance posted a picture on social media. It was from a party just a few towns over. And there, in the background, laughing and holding a drink, was Alex. He wasn't with his sick father. He was at a party he had told me he couldn't attend because of work. My world shattered. It wasn't just about the party. It was the realization that the entire foundation of our relationship, everything I believed to be true, was likely a lie. The small inconsistencies suddenly connected, forming a giant, undeniable web of deceit. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, I decided I needed to know the truth, for my own sanity. I did something I never thought I'd do. I started digging. I looked up the company he claimed to work for. There was no employee by his name. I searched for his wealthy parents online. Nothing. The prestigious university he attended, his name was nowhere in the alumni records. It was all fake. The successful career, the loving family, the worldly experiences, all of it was a carefully constructed fantasy. I felt a strange mix of devastation and relief. I wasn't crazy. My instincts had been right all along. But the pain of being so thoroughly deceived by someone I loved was immense. He hadn't just lied. He had created an entirely different person for me to fall in love with. The man I loved didn't even exist. I confronted him, not with anger, but with cold, hard facts. I laid out all the evidence piece by piece. For the first time, he had no clever comeback, no way to twist the situation. He just crumbled. He admitted to everything. His real life was a far cry from the one he'd described. He lived in a small apartment, had a low-paying entry-level job, and his family situation was complicated and not at all glamorous. He said he lied because he was insecure and wanted to impress me, but his apology felt hollow. It wasn't about making me feel better, it was about him feeling cornered. The trust was not just broken, it was obliterated. There was no coming back from that. I ended the relationship right then and there. Now, here's where the story takes a turn. After we broke up, I found out he was already telling people a completely different story. He told our mutual friends that I** was the unstable one, that I** had become paranoid and controlling, and that I** had driven him away with my trust issues. He was trying to paint me as the villain to protect his own fragile ego. That's when I knew I couldn't stay silent. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my own narrative and protecting others from his web of lies. He had not only betrayed me but was now trying to assassinate my character. So, I decided to expose the truth. I didn't do it maliciously. I simply and calmly explained the situation to our mutual friends, the people he had lied to, the people whose perception of me he was trying to poison. I didn't need to be dramatic. The truth was dramatic enough. I showed them the evidence I had found, not to shame him, but to validate my own experience and my reasons for ending the relationship. The fallout was immediate. People were shocked. They had all been taken in by his charm. Some friends felt guilty for ever doubting me. Others were just stunned that someone could maintain such an elaborate charade for so long. His social circle quickly dissolved as people realized the man they thought they knew was a fabrication. He had built his world on a foundation of lies, and with the truth revealed, it all came crashing down. Looking back, the experience was incredibly painful, but it taught me so much. It taught me to trust my intuition, always. That little voice in your head is usually right. It taught me that a person's character is revealed not in the good times, but in how they handled the truth and take responsibility for their actions. And most importantly, it taught me the importance of living an authentic life. The most impressive thing you can be is yourself. This journey of uncovering the lies and speaking my truth was incredibly empowering. It was about taking back control of my story and refusing to be a silent victim of someone else's deceit. If you are in a situation where you feel confused, manipulated, or constantly questioning your own reality, please listen to that feeling. Your well-being and peace of mind are worth more than any relationship. Don't be afraid to seek the truth, not for revenge, but for your own closure and healing. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I know it was a heavy one, but I hope that by sharing it I can help someone else who might be going through something similar. You are not alone, and you are not crazy. If you found this video helpful or you've had a similar experience, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel for more content. It means the world to me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.